أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق خلق الإنسان من علق اقرأ وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم كلا إن الإنسان ليطغى أن رآه استغنى إن إلى ربك الرجعة. um, so inshallah we'll start from the beginning. Now the significance of this surah, the beginning part at least, is that these were the very first words that were revealed to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and we all know the complete story behind it. And the important thing to also realize is that the very first command that was sent to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and by extension to all of us, is Iqra, read. Okay, read. If you think about the state of the Arab society at that point and all the different issues that they were in, from spiritual issues, from issues of morality, from the economic system. I mean, the whole society was plagued with one issue or another, and at that time, the at the beginning of the revelation, the very first command that comes down is Iqra, read. Okay, it's very powerful. It's very powerful message, and for all of us as well. Reading is an activity which is the source of gaining knowledge, and without knowledge, it's very difficult to really know what is right, what is wrong. And if you don't know what is right, what is wrong, then to reform anything becomes impossible. So it's a very simple, straightforward, logical thing, but not something that most of us would think of when we find ourselves in such dire conditions as the society was at that point. And this is something that many of us and our next generations, unfortunately, have forgotten to follow, to read. Reading these days is actually a very superficial activity, reading on Twitter, reading on Facebook, reading on Instagram, or reading those one or two sentence content, and not having the ability to actually focus on something longer. It's a big issue, something that we should all be aware of. And I think these days, I would say anybody who can sit down and focus on a longer content, reading and understanding it, has a superpower actually. And we should all try to achieve that, and also our younger generation as well. Anyway, so first ayah, اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق. Okay. اقرأ فعل أمر مبني على سكون، فاعل مستتر تقديره أنت. So at that point, the Anta goes to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Bismi, yeah, B and then ism, jar or majroor. Okay, we can leave it up there, but then some of the Arab dictionaries actually tell us that this is actually متعلق محذوف حال من فاعل لإقرأ, which is أنت. Okay. Bismi Rabbika, ism was also mudaf, and then Rabbi is mudaf ilayhi, and Ka is also mudaf ilayhi. So Rabbi is mudaf ilayhi, wa huwa mudaf, and Ka is also mudaf ilayhi. And then Alladhi is not. Not number 1 li Rab. Of course, Alladhi also ismul mawsul. So what comes after it, it will be silatul mawsul, but let's first analyze it. Khalaqa is fi'l madi. مبني على فتحة فاعل مستتر تقديره هو and this whole thing is silatul mawsul. Now khalaqa is a transitive verb which requires a maf'ulun bihi. In this case you don't see the maf'ulun bihi which is um, which is omitted, I believe, for brevity, because we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the khaliq of everything. Okay, kulla shay'in khalaqa kulla shay'in, created everything. So when it is everything, then you can even skip it. They're saying khalaqa, he created. Created what? Created everything. Don't even have to mention they may start mentioning the things that he created, because he created everything. But from a meaning point of view, we should understand that khalaqa is a transitive verb, so it does require maf'ulun bihi, which again from a brevity perspective can be omitted if it is understood. Did I miss something? No, I think I'm good. If you look at the meanings, iqra, okay, comes from qara'a yaqra'u, bab fataha, qira'atan or Qur'anan. Qur'anan is also a masdar actually, means to read, to recite. The word Qur'an as a verbal noun has the meaning of act of reciting or reading the Quran. As a noun, it has the meaning of the entire text of the Holy Quran. Okay? And then Al-Quran, of course, means the Quran. Iqra means read or recite. Bismi, okay, harf jar bi and ism. Ism comes from a root of sama yasmu, seen, meme, wow, sumuvan. Okay. Bab nasara, to be elevated, raised, to be eminent, or to rise high. Samma yusammi tasmiyatan, form 2 means to name, okay, to name someone or something. Ism, which is the noun we are looking at, plural asma'un, means name, designation, or attribute. Okay? Now, as you know that there are very few nouns, and I would qualify again, very few nouns which have a hamzatul wasl at the beginning. Ism is one of them. Ism is one of them. Ibn is another one. And then imra'atun is another, yet another one. So there are very few nouns which have hamzatul wasl at the beginning. Okay? I'm not talking about the definite article al, because definite article al, of course, have hamzatul wasl at the beginning, but definite article is not the core part of any noun. It is an addition in order to make it definite. But for the noun structure point of view, there are very few number of nouns which have hamzatul wasl at the beginning, and ism is one of them. And that's why we don't say bi ismi, we say bismi. Okay? Hamzatul wasl becomes silent if something comes before it. Another word from this root is as-sama'u, plural being as-samawatu, sky or heaven. Okay. So, iqra bismi, read in the name Rabbika, of your Lord, Alladhi, the one who, khalaq, okay, one who, so khalaqa yakhluqu, khalqan, to create, to bring into being. Khuluq is also a word from this family. We use it in Urdu as well. Also akhlaq, which is a plural. Manners, habit, custom, or natural disposition. The one who created. Okay. Read in the name of your Lord, the one who created. Okay. Next, ayah number 2. Khalaqal insana min alaq. Okay. So the previous ayah ended with khalaqa. The next one is starting with khalaqal insana min alaq. So this um, خلق is again فعل ماضي مبني على فتحة فاعل مستتر تقديره هو. Now they say this is for one of three reasons. It is either for للتأكيد, meaning the repetition is because to bring emphasis on the action of creation, or it can also be badal أو بدل أو tafsir, meaning to explain the previous khalaqa. Okay, previous khalaqa. Um, and in this case, now the mafulun bihi comes in sana. Mafulun bihi mansubun bil fatha. Min alaq. Min is harfujar, and then alaq is ism majroor. Okay. In terms of meaning, khalaqa we also already saw. He created al insan, the mankind or man, min alaq, from, and then alaq. Alaq is aliqa ya'laqu alaqan. Okay. This is a bab sami'a. To be hung, to be suspended, to stick, to cling, to adhere. And then the word alaq, which is what we are seeing here, anything which is hung or suspended or clinging, clotted mass. That's another translation done by Abdul Halim. That this is a clinging, clotted mass. Okay, created the mankind from the from clotted mass. Okay. Moving on, inshallah. Ayah number 3. Iqra wa rabbukal akram. Then fail amr again. Fa'il mustatir taqriruhu anta. And then wow is wawal hal or haliya. Rabbu in this case is coming as a mubtada wa huwa mudaf, and ka is mudaf ilayhi. And then al akram is a khabar for the mubtada rabbu. Okay, khabar for the mubtada rabbu. The translation is Iqra, again read or recite. Warabbuka, while your Lord. Okay. Akram, karuma yakrumu, karaman or karamatan or karamatan. Bab karuma actually. The dhamma on the ain kalima in both madi and mudare. Not the most commonly used verbs, um, along with the bab hasiba, but we find an example here. Means to be noble, to be generous. So this is an intransitive verb. Karrama yukarrimu takriman, to honor someone, okay, to make someone noble. Okay. And then the word akram, and then form 4 is akrama yukrimu ikraman. Very similar meaning, to treat someone with kindness, to honor someone. And then akramu is ismu tafdeel, most or more honored or noble. Al akram is an attribute of God. the most generous, the most bountiful. Okay. So Iqra wa Rabbukal Akram, read while your Lord is the most generous. Okay. Any question before I move on? Go ahead, Brother
Yes,
Kamal.
right. You mentioned Allazi as Naat number 1. So where's Naat number 2?
Where is Naat number 2? Naat number 2 is coming, inshallah.
Thank you.
Inshallah. Okay. Then Allazi again, form number, sorry, ayah number 4, Allazi allama bil qalam, Allazi ismul mawsul. Now this has multiple options given. One is, this is Naat number 2, okay? Or it is also given as how khabar number 2 li rab, okay, which is Rabbukal Akram. So this can also be a khabar for it, okay, the one who. And then the third one is, or khabar li mubtada mahzuf, mahzuf taqdiruhu huwa, taqdiruhu huwa, okay, meaning huwa alladhi allama bil qalam. That would be the estimation if you go with the third option. For the khabar number 2 li rab, then you will have to think of it rabbuka al akram as khabar number 1, and allazi allama bil qalam is the khabar number 2. And then the other option is that it is naat number 2 for the bismi rabbika. So rabbi was the man'ut, and naat number 1 was the first allazi khalaq, and this is now the naat number 2 for the same man'ut rab. Okay. All those three options exist because they're all kind of pointing to Allah, or in this case, the word used is rab. It of course does not make any change in the meanings, but these grammatically all these options do exist. Okay. I think that answers your question, Brother Kamal. You were asking the naat number 2, so this is that naat number 2.
Yeah, yes, thank you.
And then allama bil qalam, that is silatul mawsul, but we analyze it. Allama is fi'l madi, mabni ala fatha, fa'il mustatir taqdiruhu huwa. And this huwa again is actually the a'id that goes back to alladhi. And then bil qalam, jar wa majroor. Jar wa majroor. Okay.
But Azai,
Yeah,
can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, Brother Saeed.
Okay, my question is about Beisme. Is it Sama Yasmu? Is it someone or Sumu one? You put Shadda on Wow.
First of all, Brother Saeed, it is not bi ismi. Okay, that's exactly I was saying. We cannot say bi ismi
And
because
Bismi.
it's a hamzatul wasl.
Right. Bismi.
Bismi,
Right,
bismi.
right,
We say it as if hamzatul wasl does not even exist.
right.
In our pronunciation, we say it is completely silent. There is no indication of it in our sound. Okay?
Right.
To the extent that we know that when we say write Bismillah Rahman Rahim, we don't even write it. Okay. But anyway, so your question about
My
the
question is the masdar of this Sama Yasmu. Is it Sumu one or is it Sum one?
Sumuf one, that's the one I found with the dhamma on meme. Sumuf one.
Because in the Quranic dictionary, Lutfar Rahman, he says Sum one. Meme
Uh,
has Sukun and Wow has Dofata. Sum one.
yeah, so that may be another masdar as well. This is the one that I found, I believe, in Hanswear and in Lane's lexicon.
Okay.
Okay. So
All right.
if it is sum one, then Waw will not have a shadda, it will simply have a
Right,
fatha tanween.
right.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. Back to number 4. Alladhi allama bil qalam. Alladhi, the one who allama. Okay. Allama. So alima ya'lamu and allama is formed to teach. I just realized that I should have put form number 2 there. Inshallah, I will fix that. Okay. So allama is meaning is to make someone know. So it's a causative meaning, but in simple English we will say the one is the action of teaching. Okay. Allama allama yu'allimu ta'liman. The one who taught bil qalam. Qalam. Qalama yaqlimu qalman. The word not used in the Quran. Of course, the only one that used in the Quran is qalam or aqlam. So qalama yaqlamu is bab zaraba, to cut, to clip. Qalam has two broad meaning. One is pen, and also a headless arrow used in casting lots. Okay, something that Arabs used to do. The one who taught with the pen. With the pen. And then ayah number 5. Allam al-insana ma'lam ya'lam. Again, fail madi. Fa'il mustatir. Taqdiruhu huwa. Allam al-insana. Insana maf'ulun bihi. Ma'lam. Actually maf'ulun bihi. Number 1. And then ma'lam is maf'ulun bihi. Is ismul mawsul. Maf'ulun bihi number 2. And then lam we know is harfu nafi wa jazmin wa qalbin. And then ya'lam is fi'l mudari majzoom. Fa'il mustatir taqdiruhu huwa. And this huwa goes to insan. Okay. The one who did not know. Okay. And again the maf'ulun bihi for ya'lam is omitted. Again, for brevity, it would have been ya'lam who. Okay, ya'lam who. And that who would be the a'id. That goes back to ma. Okay, well, once we look at the meaning, it'll make sense, inshallah. So, allama, he taught. Insan, he taught the man. Ma, that which. Ma, lam ya'lam. Okay, did not ya'lam. He did not know. Okay, he taught insan, the man, that which he did not know. Okay. An interesting aspect of our knowledge actually is that if you think about it, our ultimate teacher is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because all the knowledge that we have actually came from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay. Because everything He created and our ability to learn and the knowledge that originated from Him, and then He gave us the the disciplines, the faculties of learning. So really the knowledge originated from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we are gaining from. So we should be thankful for that itself. But Saeed, I see your raised hand. You have any more question, or was it the previous raised hand? Okay. Brother Kamal, please go ahead.
Is this allama is not a tafsir for the previous allama bil qalami? Allama in the ayat number 5?
It did not, maybe I missed it, but I did not see any comments on that. I did not see any connection given to the previous one. I may have missed it. So if somebody has access to Nur Yaqeen or Dr. Yaqub, they can correct me, but I don't recall seeing a connection with the previous one. In that case, this may be a Jumla Isti'nafiya.
Okay, thanks.
Moving on, inshallah. Ayah number 6. Kalla innal insana la yatgha. Kalla, we have seen it before in Surat al-Kasur. At least we saw that. We remember. This is the harfu rad'in wa zajrin. Harfu rad'in wa zajrin. So particle of rebuke and repulsion. Okay. And we look at the meaning. I think I did capture it here. Yeah. Particle rebuke and repulsion. Meaning not at all, by no means, certainly not. And quite often the simple meaning is no with an emphasis, with an exclamation mark at the end. Innal insana la yatgha. Inna, we know, is harfu ta'kidin wa naslin. Okay. Innal insana is ismu inna. La yatgha, la and yatgha, 2 words. La, we know, is lamul mudahlaqa. The skating lam. And yatgha is fi'l mudari marfu wa alamatu raf'ihi dammatul muqaddara. It's basically a naqis verb, and we know that naqis verb, there is no dhamma at the end, like da'a yad'u or nasiya yansa. Fa'il mustatir taqdiruhu huwa, and this huwa actually goes back to insan. And this jumla fi'liya fi mahalli raf'in khabar inna, because ismu al insan was ismu inna, and fi'l mudare yatgha, which is a complete jumla fi'liya, is actually fi mahalli raf'in khabrin. So the translation kalla is no, inna indeed, al insan the man, la yatgha. Okay, so again there's emphasis, there is inna and lamul muzalaqa, so both combined, there is a emphasis in here. Tagha or taghiya, both are possible. Taghaya, yatgha, taghyan and tughyanan. Okay. Bab fataha or bab samia. Also tagha yatghu with a waw. Okay, so 2 roots are applicable in this case. Different dictionaries actually have looked at both options. So bab nasara says of water to overflow, become raised. Okay, to be excessive, to exceed the bounds, to transgress. Okay, to transgress. Okay, and that's kind of the meaning that we can apply here. Indeed, the man transgresses. Okay. Previously, we were reminded that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who taught insan that which he did not know. But then, right in the next ayah, it says, "No, indeed, the man transgresses," meaning does not remember, does not appreciate the fact that his knowledge was given to him by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay. Ar-ra'ahu staghna, an here is harfu masdari wa nasbin. Harfu masdari wa nasbin. Ra'ahu, ra'a, and then who? Ra'a is fi'l madi. Mabni wala fatatul muqaddara. Fa'il mustatir taqdiruhu huwa. Who is ma'fulun bihi. Okay. Actually, ma'fulun bihi awwal. And then istaghna is fi'l madi. Fa'il mustatir taqdiruhu huwa again. And this jumla okay is fi mahalli nasbin maf'ulun bihi sanin for ra'a. Okay. And then interesting analysis here. So if you can please pay attention, it says the masdar mu'awwal, because we said an is harfu masdari, so it makes masdar mu'awwal. Masdar mu'awwal is actually fi mahalli jarrin bilam muqaddar, for a lam um, which is um, estimated. Okay, which is estimated. And let me go here if I can explain it. And this, so this lam, so the you can say li plus masdar mu'awwal. Okay, so you have a jar plus majroor. This is muta'alliq bil fi'l yatgha. So if you see the previous ayah, innal insana la yatgha, what's coming after in the in ayah number 7, ar-ra'ahu staghna, what they're saying is that there is a lam which is harfu jar is mahzuf, and this whole ar-ra'ahu staghna, which is basically which is a masdar mu'awwal. So this harfu jar lam followed by a masdar mu'awwal together, they are muta'alliq that fail yatgha. Okay. Something that again we have I mean we have not seen this kind of a construction before, so it's kind of interesting to see it here. That's why I brought it up here. Okay. That you can, whenever you have masdar mu'awwal, we have always said that masdar mu'awwal behaves like a noun. In this case, it's behaving like a noun with being majroor to a harfu jar which is mahzuf. Okay, and that once we see the meaning, it'll inshallah make more sense. So why don't I actually go and write down the meanings? Ar-ra'ahu staghna. So in that, or say because, okay, ra'ahu, he sees, who is basically him, but in English the best translation will be he sees himself. He sees himself. Istaghna. Istaghna basically comes from ghaniya yaghna, ghinan or ghana'an, to be free from want, to be rich. And then form 10 is istaghna yastaghni istighna'an, to not need, to become rich, to become self-sufficient. Okay? To become self-sufficient. And of course, the word ghaniyun comes from this plural aghniya'u, which is maf'ulun bihi, meaning rich, one who is not in need of others. Okay? So istaghna is meaning of to be self-sufficient. Okay, so he sees himself as self-sufficient. Okay, so this is where the connection with the previous ayah is, that indeed the man transgresses in that he sees himself as self-sufficient, meaning he is not grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is not thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for everything that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given him. And specifically in this particular case, what we are reminded is that he has given us the knowledge. Okay, so whatever we have came from him. Even the knowledge came from him. So how can we say that we are self-sufficient? Okay. So and thinking that we are self-sufficient is being referred to as to transgress. Okay, yatgha. Innal insana la yatgha. Indeed, the man is man transgresses. Ar-ra'ahu istaghna, in that, or because he sees himself as self-sufficient. Okay. Any question on it so far before I move on?
Brother Zayed?
Yeah.
Sorry, I cannot raise hand because my thing is not allowing me today for some reason.
No worries.
This rise kalbiya because of the two mafili.
Correct. Exactly. So basically, he considers, he thinks of himself as self-sufficient.
Yeah.
Correct.
Just,
correct. Yeah. And the other thing very quickly is that you see this, the way it is written is with the alif mamduda, and that is just a writing rule. Okay, that if you attach any pronoun to a verb or a noun which ended with alif maksura, the alif maksura changes to alif mamduda. A simple example that I always give is, see, the word ma'na is written like this, ma'na. Okay, but if I have to say ma'nahu, its meaning, then I have to change it to ma'nahu. Okay, so here you see that this alif maksura changes to alif mamduda. Similarly, in the case of ra'a, normally we write ra'a as like this, ra'a. Okay, but when we have to attach it to a pronoun, then it gets written as, so now in Quranic orthography, what happens is the hamza itself goes without a seat. This alif maksura changes to alif mamduda, and then the hu comes in after. Okay, that's just a writing rule. Brother Junaid, please go ahead.
Yeah, so Ra needs two mafulun bihis. So in this case, we see the first is the ism,
Yeah,
but the second is a fail.
correct.
So is
Actually the whole jumla, yes, but a fail which is a complete jumla, yes.
so is this like, I might be just forgetting, but is this typical? Like we have seen this that the maf'ulun bihis could be one and ism and the other could be completely different?
So I would say no, it is not typical. Like we don't. I mean, this is not very commonly seen, but it can happen, and that's what we are seeing here. Normally when we look at something as an object of a fail, then object is a noun. That's a normal thing that the target of an action and the doer of the action are both ism. Okay? But in exceptional scenarios, you will find that the object can also be a jumla. Okay, and actually one example I would give, which is very common, is qala. The target of the verb qala is always a jumla. Okay? Because qala, he said what? Whatever he said would be a jumla.
Yes.
So that jumla will always be the maf'ulun bihi for that.
That's
But
true.
qala is, I mean, I have to admit, qala is a special type of verb whose object is always going to be a jumla. But other verbs, their target is normally a noun, but it can happen that they can have a jumla as a maf'ulun bihi. Okay, good observation.
Right, thank you.
Another Zahid?
Yep.
Today we even find even a file is a jumla in Ayah, Surat-al-Baqarah 259.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Yeah. That again, that is not very common, but it can happen as well.
Yeah, this is the first time in the entire Surah-al-Baqarah,
Yeah.
the file came as a jumla. So,
Yeah. Alhamdulillah.
alhamdulillah.
Ayah number 8. Inna ila rabbika ruj'a. Inna harfu tawkidin wa nasbin. Ila harfu jar. Rabbi ism majroor wa huwa mudaf, and ka is mudaf ilayhi. And this jar wa majroor is shubu jumla. Fi mahalli raf'in khabar inna muqaddam. Okay, khabar inna came first. Ar-ruj'a, okay, is ismu inna mansubun, okay, mansubun bil fathah al muqaddara. Because again it's a manqus noun, ruj'a, meaning indeed to or towards rabbika, your Lord. Ar-ruj'a, raja'a yarji'u, ruju'an, to return, to come back. And then ruj'un is actually a verbal noun and a noun, meaning returning or return. Ar-ruj'a is the return. Is the return. This is a very short ayat, and easy to recite, and also easy to understand as well, because they're not talking about some very complicated topics, but just simple, straightforward messages here. Ara'aita alladhi yanha. So ara'aita, so and then ra'i, and then ta. 3 different parts. So here is hamzatul istifham. Ra'a is fi'l madi. File is coming later, so no file here, no file mustatir here. And then ta is damir mustatir fi, sorry, damir muttasil fi mahli raf'in fa'il. And then allazi is ismul mawsul coming here as is mabni fi mahli raf'in fa'il li fi'l. Sorry, what am I talking about? I'm actually making a mistake. Let me, yeah, exactly. No, I think I was saying something and I meant something else. So ara'aita, ra'a is madi, ta is damir muttasil fi mahli raf'in fa'il. I said file is coming later, but file is actually was already part of that. And then alladhi ismul mawsul fi mahalli nasbin maf'ulun bihi. Maf'ulun bihi, isli maf'ulun bihi awwal. And then yanha is fi'l mudari marfu fa'il mustatir taqdiruhu huwa, and huwa is also the a'id, goes back to alladhi, and of course this is silatul mawsul. Okay. Maf'ulun bihi number 2 is coming later, which we'll look at it inshallah. Okay. Ara'aita, did you see? Did you see allazi, the one who yanha, okay, so naha yanhu, okay, with the root being noon ha waw, okay, or naha yanha with a noon ha ya, both spellings are given. Nahyan is the masdar for noon ha ya, and nahwan is the masdar for noon ha waw. Meaning is given as the same: to forbid, to prohibit, to restrain. Form 8 is intaha yantahi intihaan, okay, to stop, to seize, to hold back. Okay. So we are looking at Thulathi Mujarrad here, Mujarrad in this ayah, yanha, okay, the one who forbids. One thing I forgot to mention, and we saw that actually in Suratul Ma'un when we saw Ara'aita in that case also. Okay, that, and I want you to kind of look at this note that I have in the note section. That this construction Ara'aita, okay, also has the meaning of akhbirni. Okay, akhbirni, which is a form 4 akhbirni, meaning tell me. And then and in the analysis for this Surat-al-Alq, these instances of ara'aita, they were all listed as that their meaning in the Arab dictionaries, they said bima'ana akhbirni. But interestingly enough, the most of the mainstream English translations that I consulted, they all translated this as did you see? Did you see? Okay, so they went with the kind of the original meaning of ra'aita. But dictionaries do talk about the meaning of ara'aita as being akhbirni, meaning tell me. And then and another interesting aspect of that construction is that optionally the second person attached pronoun ka, okay, ka kuma kum ki kuma kunna, that ka may be attached to ara'aita, okay, and it is considered extra, meaning it doesn't bring any change in the meaning, but it can be attached, and we see that in the Quran itself actually. In case of dual, plural and feminine, meaning if it is either musanna or it is jama or it is muannas, the pronoun ta will remain the same, will remain as is, but the ka will change accordingly. Okay, so ka, for example, for dual, it will become ara'aytakuma, or if it is for plural, it will be ara'aytakum, or if it is for female singular, it can be ara'aytaki, okay, or ara'aytiki, or for yeah, so and you can see the examples here in Surah Al-Isra, ayah number 62. قال أرأيتك هذا الذي كرمت علي. أرأيتك, you can see here, ka is considered extra in this case. And then Surah An'am, ayah number 40, قل أرأيتكم. Again, this kum is considered extra, but this construction is allowed. And then this particular ayah is also quoted in this section, أرأيت الذي ينهى, or in Surah Al-Mulk, قل أرأيتم. Now, in this case, sorry, in these two cases, no extra ka is added. Okay. قل أرأيتم إن أهلكني الله ومن معي, so and onwards. So, and then it says, note, in all these ayah, there is a meaning of tambih, attention, desired in all these cases. Okay. So, but the interesting thing is that the dictionaries did not translate this as tell me about the one who forbids, but the Arab dictionaries did mention it. The Quran dictionaries did not. The Quran Arabic to English dictionaries did not use that meaning, but the Arab dictionaries did mention that. Okay, thought I should share that with you, inshallah. And then ayah number 10, abdan idha salla. Abdan idha salla. So abdan is the continuation of the previous sentence. It's a mafulun bihi thanin. Just give me a second. No, I take it back actually. No, it is not maf'ulun bihi number 2 for that. The maf'ulun bihi lil fi'l yanha. I made a mistake. My apologies. We will look at the maf'ulun bihi for number 2 for the word ara'aita later, inshallah. Okay. Idha is a zarf. Okay. And in this case, it is mujarrad min ma'ana shart, meaning it is void of any meaning of shart. Okay. And then salla is فعل ماضي مبني على فتحة المقدرة فاعل مستتر تقديره هو, and this huwa goes to abd, and this whole jumla, which is actually a single fail, this jumla is fi mahalli jarrin mudaf ilayhi, because it's coming after zarf. Okay, and I want to go back to the second maf'ulun bihi for ara'aita, okay, which is interesting in this case. Maf'ulun bihi number 2, okay, is mahzuf. Okay, dalla ala, it is basically denoted or pointed to by a ayah which is coming later, okay, which is alam ja'alam bi anna allaha yara. Alam ya'lam bi anna Allaha yara. So we will look at that in a little bit more detail, inshallah, next time, because it's coming late again and again. But at a very high level, if you understand this, Ara'ayta alladhi yanha, do you see the one who forbids? So do you see or do you consider first maf'ulun bihi being the one who, but what do you consider about him? The fact that does he not see alam ya'lam bi anna Allaha yara? I'm actually going ahead of this ayah here. That does he not see that Allah sees? Does he not know? Does he not know that Allah sees? So that is what we are being told to consider, that to consider the one who, and what to consider about him, that isn't he thinking, or isn't he knowledgeable that Allah sees what he is doing? Okay. So abdan is actually the maf'ulun bihi for the fail yanha. Okay, because he forbids the abd. So abd itself, I think we have seen this word before a lot. So abada, ya'budu, ibadatan, and ubudatan is another masdar. Abd, plural being ibad and abid. Many meanings: someone, anyone, worshipper, servant, slave. Okay. So here, abd will be forbids a slave, either when Salla, he prays. Okay, when he prays. أرأيت الذي ينهى عبدا إذا صلى. I think I'm going to stop here, inshallah. That's a good stopping point. We'll continue on and we will look at this interesting construction where maf'ulun bihi number 2 is actually mahzuf, not only for this ara'aita, but even in the other ones as well. And in all the cases, it points to that ayah which is coming, alam ya'lam bi anna Allaha yara. So we will actually look at that once again. Iqra, Bismi Rabbika alladhi khalaq. We talked about this is the very first ayah, first revelation of Quran. And with every first ayah of the surah, actually, it's analyzed as a jumla ibtadaiyya. So in this case, this Iqra Bismi Rabbika alladhi, I should have mentioned it. This is actually a jumla ibtadaiyya. No, in this particular case, it's actually even more significant, but this is actually the really the very beginning, the very first of the ayah that was revealed. So it is the ultimate ibtadaiyya for the Quran. Of course, every surah's first ayah is ibtadaiyya, but this is the ultimate ibtadaiyya jumla. I just wanted to bring that up. So Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq. Read in the name of your Lord, alladhi khalaq, the one who created. Khalaqal insana min alaq. He created the man from a clinging clotted mass, min alaq. Iqra wa rabbukal akram. This is rabbuka. This is a rabbukal akram is actually jumla haliya. Read while your Lord is most generous. Alladhi allama bil qalam, the one who taught with the pen. Allama al insana ma lam ya'lam. He taught the man that which he did not know. Ma'alam ya'lam, that which he did not know. So in this case, this ma'al mausula because it points to a noun, a thing, basically anything that he did not know. And then kalla innal insana la yatgha. No, indeed, the man is the man transgresses, yatgha, tagha yatgha, to cross the accepted boundaries, to transgress. Ar-ra'ahu istaghna, in that, or because he because he sees himself as istaghna, as self-sufficient, that he doesn't need anybody. In this case, basically, he doesn't need the God. Na'udzubillah. Inna ila rabbika ruj'a. Indeed, towards your Lord is the return. Ruj'a, the return. Or ar-ruj'a, I should say. And then, ara'ayta alladhi yanha. Ara'ayta, we talked about it last week. This is the rule. Of course, A is Hamzatul Istifham and Ra'a is Ra'a Yara, to see, also to think, to consider, to perceive. This construction, Ara'ayta, itself has a special meaning, which is basically akhbirni, tell me. Okay, and we talked about some of the rules that they can optionally the attached pronoun ka can also be added to it, and we see those examples in the Quran as well. So the Isra, ayah number 62, qala ara'aytaka hadha alladhi karramta alayya, or Surah An'am, ayah number 40, qala ara'aytukum in ataakum adhabullahi. Now, the interesting thing I noticed was that in the translation for this particular ayah in Surat-al-Alq, the translation is not done as akhbirni, but rather, did you see, or did you consider, did you perceive, did you think what? Allazi yanha, the one who, this allazi is a maf'ulun bihi number one, okay? And then yanha is part of the silatul mawsul connected with the ismul mawsul allazi. The maf'ulun bihi number two, in this case is actually mahzuf, and it is pointed to by a later ayah in the surah, which is alam ya'lam bi anna allaha yara. Like, did you see or did you consider the one who, and then of course janha abdan idha salla, so that points to allazi. But what did we consider about that person? That does he not know alam ya'lam bi anna allaha yara? That does he not know that Allah sees, that Allah sees everything that's going on? Okay, so because the ra'a yara, ra'al qalbiya actually requires two maf'ulun bihi to think of someone as something, or something as something. So the first one is allazi, did you think, did you see the one who? So that's the first maf'ulun bihi. Second one is, what about that person? That doesn't he know that Allah sees him? Okay, so that is what that ayah, which is coming later, will point to the maf'ulun bihi. So syntactically, the maf'ulun bihi is mahzuf, but it has to be understood from that ayah. Okay. Anyway, so arayta alladhi yanha, did you see the one who yanha, naha yanha, to forbids who? Abdan idha salla. Abd is a maf'ulun bihi for yanha, and then idha is actually a zarf, which does not come with a meaning of shart in this case, it's just a zarf al makan. And then salla is a fi'l madi, fa'il mustatir taqdiruhu huwa. And this jumla, salla is a jumla fi'liya, is actually fi mahalli jarrin mudaf ilayhi to iza, because iza is a zarf and zarf is followed by mudaf ilayhi. Anyway, so the very first part of this, so there are three ara'ayta coming. One of them we already saw, two more. First one says, did you see the one who forbids a slave when he prays? When he prays, okay? So this is from the Tafasir. This talks about the incidents that happened during the Makki period, when Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam used to pray near the Kaaba, that Abu Jahl used to attempt to prevent him from praying, or do other physical and other abuses to prevent our beloved Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam to actually pray. Okay, so this allazi, Mufassirun tell us that it goes to Abu Jahl, who is being pointed to, that he is the one who, did you see that he forbids a slave? So Abd here is Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam when he prays. So continuing on, the next Ara'ayta, same analysis as the first Ara'ayta. So A, Ra'a, and ta. The first one is the Hamzatul Istifham. Ra'a is fi'l madi, mabni ala sukoon. Ta is zamir muttasil, fi mahalli raf'in fa'il. And it's so the two maf'ulan, okay, maf'ulan are both mahzoof, okay. Al-awwal dalla ala, it is pointed to. Allazi yanha, okay, just 1 second. Need some space here. And Athani dalla ala alam ya'lam bi anna Allah yara. So all of these ara'aita basically point to the same person who was referred to in the Ismul Mawsul Allazi, and the second maf'ulun bihi is mahzuf, and it is pointed to by alam ya'lam anna Allah yara. But now the ara'aita is now continued on with in kana alal huda. So in is harfu shart, tajzimu fi'lain. Kana is fi'l madi, it's naqis. Now in this case it is fi mahalli jazmin because it's fi'l shart. Ismu kana mustatir taqdiruhu huwa, and then ala is harfu jar. I'll have to go forward and then come back to this page again, inshallah. And then alal huda will be the ism majroor. Okay. The combination of alal huda here will be, okay, so jar wa majroor is khabar kana. Actually, I mean, of course, some Arab dictionaries will say muta'alliq be khabar kana mahzoof, but here for simplification we say it is khabar kana itself. Okay. So in kana alal huda. Now so we got the shart. So where is the jawab shart? Okay, so let me just put a star here and explain what is the jawab shart over here. Okay. So jawab shart is mahzoof.
Brother,
Mahzoof.
this huwa is the ismu kana?
Correct. Okay. And it's mahzoof, and it is pointed to basically the same thing that we saw as the second maf'ulun bihi, alam ya'lam bi anna Allah yara. Okay. So this is an interesting case. We haven't seen that before so far. That an ayah which is coming later in the surah is pointing to a mahzoof maf'ulun bihi, and it is also, same ayah is also pointing to a mahzoof jawab shart. in the previous ayah, which in this case we are analyzing. Okay? In kana alal huda, that shart is there. The jawabu shart is pointed to by that, ayah which is coming later. Interesting case, we have not seen it before. And then Aw amara bit taqwa. So actually, before we go to the next ayah, let's look at the meanings, inshallah. Forgot about that. Ara'aita. Did you see? In, if, kana, was, ala, upon or on. Okay. Huda. Okay. We have seen hada yahdi, hidyan, hudan, or hidayatan. Okay. Meaning to guide, to lead, to direct. Form 8 is also quite commonly used in Quran. Ihtada yahtadi, ihtada, see there's a typo here. Ihtidaan, to be guided on the right path. And then hudan which is the noun that we are dealing with here. It's used both as a verbal noun, act of guidance, also a noun meaning guidance. Okay, so it's used in both scenarios. So in this case, meaning guidance. Okay, the guidance. Okay. Did you see if he was on the guidance? He was on the right path. Okay. So guidance basically has an implication that it is the right guidance. Okay. Aw amara bit taqwa. Aw is a harfu atf. Amara fi'l madi mabni wala fatha. Fa'il mustatir taqdiruhu huwa bit taqwa harfu jar b followed by at taqwa, which is majroor. Alamatu jarrihi kasratul muqaddara, because this is a li'annahu ism maqsoor, and those have latent endings. So they have alamatu taqdiriya. So the meaning will be or amara. Okay. So amara ya'muru, amran, to order, to command, prescribe. Also there is a different spelling, amara, amara and amura, ya'muru, with a masdar of amaratan, to become an amir, leader, ruler. Okay, so here it is the first one, to command or to enjoin, or he commands or enjoins with taqwa, very common word in the Quran. The root is waqa yaqi, which is lafif mafruq. It has two weak letters, waw and ja. So waqa yaqi, waqiyan, waqayatan, noon waqaya. When we talk about the noon waqaya, this is the masdar we use. Means to protect, to shield, to guard. And then ittaqa is form 8. The asal is actually ivtaqa with a waw, but then the waw gets assimilated into ta, and when the ta gets a shadda. So ittaqa, yattaqi, ittiqa'an, intransitive verb, to be pious. Okay? Also has the transitive meaning to be mindful of something or someone, to be conscious of, to be aware of, to guard against, to protect. Okay? Bit taqwa. So the meaning here typically is piety or righteousness. So did you see Okay. Again, did you see who? Alladhi yanha. And then in kana alal huda. If he, now in this case, he would be the one who is Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Okay. If he is on the right guidance or right path, aw amara bit taqwa, if he commands piety or righteousness. Okay. So I mean, he's doing all those, creating all those difficulties for someone who's doing the right thing. Okay. So I mean, do you not think that what he's doing is so wrong, basically? Moving on, inshallah, ayah number 13. Ara'aita in kazzaba wa tawalla. Similar structure to what we saw before. Ra'a, and then ta, hamzatul istifham. Ra'a fi'l madi. Ta is tamir mutasil fi mali raf'in fa'il. And then now in this case, the same thing applies to al-maf'ulan. Yeah, I cannot use that actually. Maf'ulan mahzufan. And they are again pointed to allazi yanha, and the second one is pointed to by alam ya'lam bi anna allaha yara. And then in is harfu shart. Kazzaba fi'l madi mabni ala fatha, fa'il mustatir taqdiruhu huwa. Waw is harfu atf. Tawalla is again fi'l madi mabni ala fathatul muqaddara, and fa'il mustatir taqdiruhu huwa. Okay. And the jawabu shart is again mahzuf and has the same explanation which I gave here, that it is pointed to by that upcoming ayah, alam ya'lam bi anna allaha yara. Okay. So that ayah becomes very key. It basically contains the key to two mafulun bihi, which were actually mafulun bihi for 3 ara'aita. First one, second one, and third one. And it also contains the key for the jawabu shart for the 2 shart which are coming. First, in kana alal huda, and second one, in kazzaba wa tawalla. In terms of meaning for this ayah, in araita in kazzaba wa tawalla, did you see in, if, kazzaba? Okay. So root kazzaba yakzibu kizban, kadhiban kazbatan, to lie, to deceive, to mislead. And then form 2 is kazzaba yukazibu takziban, to accuse of lying, to disbelieve someone. Okay. And then with harfajar B, to deny, to refute, to disown, to reject as false. So kazzaba, if he denies, watawalla, and okay, tawalla, we know from the structure it's a form 5, but the sarasi mujarrad is waliya, yali. This is actually a bab hasiba, very interesting, very it's quite rare. Wilayatan, walayatan, walaan, meaning to be near someone or something, to close, to be a friend, in charge, to manage, govern, rule. Form 5 is tawalla, yatawalla, tawallin. It's a manqus noun. That's why it basically has a tanween, a kasra tanween. To turn away, to leave, to withdraw, to take upon oneself, also to take charge of. So here it is to turn away, basically. Okay. And he turns away, meaning he denies if he denies your message and if he turns away, okay, did you see that if he denies and if he turns away, then what is the jawabu shart? Jawabu shart is to be understood from the alam ya'lam bi anna Allah yara, which is the upcoming ayah. All right, ayah number 14. Alam ya'lam inna Allah yara. So and then lam. Again, hamzatul istifham. Lam we know is harfun nafi wa jazmin wa qalbin. Ya'lam fi'l mudari majzoom. fi'l mudari majzoom. Fa'il mustatir taqdiruhu huwa. Okay. B harfu jar. Okay. Anna we know is harfu taqidin wa nasbin. Okay. The rule that we studied was that inna is used at the beginning of a sentence or after the verb qala. For any other verb, it will be inna. Anna, and that's what we are saying. The verb which is the active here is ya'lam. So the harfu taqid in that case will be anna. Allah, lafzul jalala, coming here as a ismu anna, mansubun. Okay, and then yara is fi'l mudari, marfu'un bidammat al-muqaddara, fa'il mustatir taqdiruhu huwa. This huwa goes to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and this whole jumla, which is yara, jumla fi'liya, jumla fi'liya, fi mahalli raf'in khabar anna. Okay, khabar anna. And then it says, now we know that one of the masdar muawwal is with anna, ismuha wa khabaruha. So the combination of those three things, anna wa ismuha wa khabaruha. Okay, that masdar muawwal okay, this is actually representing or standing in for sadda musadda maf'ulay ya'lam. So alima ya'lamu, one of the meanings or one of the usages for it is to be doubly transitive, meaning do you know that someone is something or someone is or something is something. Okay, so it is used in that when used in that context, it has two maf'ulun bihi. So in this case, bi anna Allah yara, that whole masdar muawwal is substituting for the two maf'ulun bihi for ya'lam. Okay. I just want to make sure that I didn't miss anything. No, I think I'm good. If you look at the meanings,
and مصدر مؤول في محل جر.
sorry, say that again, brother.
مصدر مؤول في محل جر.
Correct.
Because of the bar.
Yeah. I should have said, sorry. Fi mahalli jarrin, but also sadam maf'ulay ya'lam. Okay. In terms of the meaning, alam So because it's a hamza, so it's a farm coming. So it will be a interrogative. Did not ya'lam, alama ya'lamu, to know. Did he not know? Bi anna. Here the meaning of bi anna will be that Allah yara. Okay. Here you can say knows or sees. Okay. Did he not know or does he not know that Allah sees? Okay. Now, of course, the second yara, by the way, doesn't have any maf'ulun bihi mentioned. And I believe the reason is because Allah sees everything. There's no need to mention what Allah can see. Okay. It is understood that Allah can see everything. Okay. Moving, Brother Nisar, please go ahead.
Yeah, because Brother Zahid, I have two questions. One is related to the Araita.
Mhm.
The Arab book, sometimes you say that this is harfu istamal inkari.
Mhm.
So that means it has a negative sense in it, right?
Mhm.
Is that when we translate, then did we use that negativity or not? Like we use in the alam, but we
Mhm.
don't see
Mhm.
araita and kazababat wala.
Correct. I'm not sure if. Well, let me just quickly check. Actually, I shouldn't.
In the meaning wise, it comes in, but writing wise is the issue. Anyway, the second question, which is saying when we say it become masdar muawwal, right?
Mhm.
So now we're going to make a masdar of the yara and attach with the Allah. If we have to make a sentence, what would be, because now we don't have a fail after anna to make a masdar for that. It has to be fail the yara.
Correct. So it will have to be with the seeing of Allah.
Yeah,
Okay.
seeing
I mean,
of Allah. So it
is
will
he,
come.
yeah, is he not, I mean, does he not know about the seeing capability of Allah or
Yeah.
seeing of Allah?
So the masdar is going to madaf and Allah will be madaf ilahi then.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. So the verb when interpreted into the verbal noun will be for the yara, the verb itself. Going back to your first question about ara'aita,
Yeah.
I don't see any translating this into a negative. Yeah? They are all translating it as
Yeah, they're doing
have you
positive, but
seen? Have you seen? Did you see? Basically.
but they're writing istafam inkari wa ta'ji.
Yeah, I
Ta'ji.
know. I've seen it. I have not actually delved into it to see exactly what do they mean by that. To be honest, but they also sometimes they use the word takriri as well.
Yes, correct.
We have not covered that in Medina books, and I didn't get a chance to actually go and look deeper into it. Exactly what does that entail? So I have kind of stayed away from it. If somebody has any idea on it, more than happy to kind of listen to it. But I have not looked into it so far.
Because I noticed when they talk about the iftali and the intali, they're also called, when it's called iftali comes in, they're called inkari with that. So there it makes sense because you are changing the you are disagreeing with the sentence which came before, and therefore is inkar, right? But here when I look at it, in a wording may look inkar, but in the writing it doesn't look like inkar.
They may have a different meaning of inkar in that case. But again, it has to be looked into. I unfortunately I don't have an answer for that.
Okay. Jazakallah.
Yeah. We'll move on to ayah number 15, inshallah. Kalla la illam yantahi lanasfa'am bin nasiyah. And then nasiyatin kazibatin khatiyah, which is the following ayah. Kalla, we know, is a harfu rad'in wa zajrin. Harfu rad'in. وزجر لَإِلَّمْ. So this is a two-part word. The initial lam is actually lamu mu'tiyatul qasam. Okay, we studied that this is the lam that paves the way for the oath, the qasam. Okay, so this happens when you have basically qasam and shart coming together. Okay, ijtima'u shart wal qasam. The important thing to note is that in that case, the rules for the shart, I should say, the rules for the qasam take precedence over the rules of the shart. In is a harfu shart. Lam, same lam that we have seen before, harfu nafi, wa jazmin, wa qalbin, yantahi, fi'l mudare, majzoom, okay, bihasfi harfi illa, okay, intaha, yantahi, there is a actually ja at the end. That ja got dropped, that's why it is majzoom. Fa'il mustatir taqdiruhu huwa. This huwa goes back to that alladhi. Okay, and then the jawabu, so this was the qasam, and then the jawabu qasam starts la nasfa'am. Okay, la and then nasfa'a. Okay, so lam is allamu waqi'atu fi jawab al-shart, so jawab al-qasam. Jawab al-qasam. This nasfa'a with a meme written in there is actually nasfa'an. The way it is written is written especially for Quranic orthography, but actually the word is nasfa'an with a noon at the end. Okay, and we can actually further break it down. So nasfa'a is one part and noon is the second part. Nasfa'a is fi'l mudare. Okay, and it is mabni ala sukun. Okay, fi mahalli raf'in, and fa'il is mustatir taqdiruhu nahnu, and this noon is noon tawkid. Okay, this is noon khafifa, not noon thaqila. This is noon khafifa lit tawkid. If it was thaqila, it would have been la nasfa anna, but this is khafifa, which is a noon with a which is a noon sakin. So nasfa but because there is a ba coming in the following ayah, the noon kind of gets assimilated. So nasfa bin nasiya, but the noon is there. Okay, from a structure point of view, the noon is there, and this is why where the, if you remember, the jawabul qasam requires the emphasis and one of the ways of emphasis is with a lam before the fi'l mudari, followed by a nun tawqid after the fi'l mudari. Okay, so that's what we are seeing here. And then bin nasiya, harf jar B, followed by an nasiya, so jar wa majroor. Okay, jar wa majroor. Okay, let's look at the meanings, inshallah. Kalla, most common translation is no. La illam, so here with emphasis, if, lam, not. Okay, yantahi, okay, so I think we saw naha yanha. Yeah, as part of naha yanha, the form 8 is intaha yantahi, intihaan. Okay, to stop, to cease, to hold back. So la illam yantahi, if, so not, he stop. So if he doesn't stop, lanasfa'am bin nasiya. The verb is safa'a yasfa'u, saf'an. Bab fataha, to scorch, to burn someone's skin. Also to drag, to drag, to seize, to grab. Okay, to drag, to seize, to grab. So we will, so this we goes to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We will certainly, because there is emphasis coming because of Jawab al-Qasam, as part of Jawab al-Qasam, drag him, okay, drag him, bin nasiya. Okay. Nasiya, the root is nasa yansu, noon, swad, waw. Naswan is a masdar, to seize by the forelock, which is a forehead. Okay. Nasiyatan is actually the noun which means forelock or forehead. Plural is nawasi. By the forehead. By the forehead. Okay. And then I guess since we are completing the analysis here, the jumla fi'liya la mahalla laha min al-i'rab jawab al-qasam. Okay, this whole jumla, which is basically from lanasfa'an bin nasiya, that is basically jawab al-qasam. We just have to identify that this is a jumla fi'liya which has no i'rab essentially itself, the jumla. And then continuing on into ayah number 16. Go ahead, Brother Saeed.
Yes, so lanas form isn't jawab shart also?
So you say it again?
The lanas form, this jumla isn't jawab shart?
We, like I said before, when you have the ijtima'u qasam wa shart, the qasam takes precedence. So the jawab becomes jawab al-qasam. All the rules of jawab al-qasam apply to it, not jawab al-shart.
So jawab qasam is the lanas form bin nasi or just the lanas form?
Lanas fa'am bin nasiya, because bin nasiya is jar majrur muta'alliq bil fi'l nasfa'a.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
So ayah number 16,
Go
nasiyatun
ahead.
kazibat.
Sorry, I raised hand also. You didn't see that actually.
I see brother, sorry, not sister Hani also has raised the hand. Please go ahead, sister Hani.
Okay. La nasfa can we use the word we will certainly drag him? There is no mafulun bihi, na? So drag him, is it?
Very good, very good point. I actually had him within the bracket in my notes because it is understood that
Yeah.
who will be dragged, he will be dragged. But you're right, the mafulun bihi itself is mahzuf, it is not mentioned. But from our understanding point of view, we know that who is being talked about, who will be dragged. It is not part of the Arabic. That's why I had it actually in brackets. I didn't put it in my in here. I should have done it.
Okay, Jazakallah.
Brother Nisar, please go ahead.
Yeah, I know Dr. Abdul Rahim always, and you taught us, alhamdulillah, I remember very clearly, when the shart and jawab, when the shart and qasam come together, the qasam will take a preference in the jawab. The majority of some of the scholars do say that, but some of the scholars still say sadda masadda, jawab shart to qasam.
Okay. Sadda masadda?
Jawab shart or qasam, both.
Okay.
Meaning that the sentence is now occupying the both. Jawab of the shart and jawab of the qasam. Yeah.
Correct. And I think
we know from Dr. Abdul Rahim there's a jawab qasam will take a preference in the jawab shart.
Yeah. So I think from an understanding point of view, it is we should understand that the shart, I mean, the jawab shart is there. It's just that when it comes to the syntactical analysis, we are saying that this particular sentence is a jawabul qasam, but actually it is also jawab shart.
Also jawab shart.
Yeah. From an understanding point of view, it is also jawab shart, because if he doesn't stop, if he doesn't cease, then what will happen? We will certainly drag him. So the then part is, of course, the answer to the condition. It is a jawab shart as well. But because the rules apply for the jawab qasam, we really analyze it as a jawab qasam. But from an understanding point of view, of course, this is also jawab shart.
Correct. Shazak.
Ayah number 16, nasiyatin, kadhibatin, khati'atin. Nasiyatin, so remember the last ayah ended with an-nasiya. So this nasiyatin is actually said to be a badal for that nasiya. And then kazibatin is naat for nasiya, naat number 1, naat awwal. And khati'atin is naat number 2, naat thani. Okay. And then in terms of meaning, nasiya we already saw, a forehead. Kazibatin, okay. So we saw kazaba yakzibu, to lie. So kazib is a ismul fa'il from this. So kazibatin is feminine to match with the gender of nasiyatin. By the way, so forehead is by convention, of course, by convention, also by structure we can see, is feminine. Okay. So kazibatin here is lying. And then khati'atin, khati'a, yakhta'u, qit'an, khat'an, khata'an, or khita'atan. To do wrong, to sin. And then khati'atin is a feminine ismul fa'il, the one who sins, or sinful. Okay. So sinful lying forehead. Sinful lying forehead. Okay. That is just the substitute for the an-nasiya that is mentioned in the previous ayah. Moving on. By the way, I should remind everyone, I think most of you, all of you know anyways, that the terminal ayah of this surah is actually requires a sajda tilawat. So whenever you get a time after this, please do home that sajda, inshallah. So ayah number 17. فَلْيَدْعُ نَادِيَهُ. Okay. Fa, then followed by lam, and then followed by yad'u. So this fa is said to be al-fa'u fi jawab shart mahdhuf. Fi jawab shart, where the shart is mahdhuf. Okay. Taqdiruhu.
Then this is fasiha.
According to one of the definition of fasiha, yes. Yeah. In kana qadiran ala daf' al-azab. Okay. If he is capable of pushing away the azab, then he should do this. Okay. So that's one explanation. The other explanation is, and this is where what Brother Abdul Hamid was saying, أو الفاء الفصيحة. Okay. And the explanation for that is أي in استمر. If he continues في غلوائه. Okay, let me actually, and then the job of shart, let me write down the meaning. If he continues, istamarra means continues, his ghalwa means exceeding the proper bounds. Exceeding the if he continues his exceeding the proper bounds, then what? Then faljad'u nadiya. Then he should do this, and we will look at the meaning of this, inshallah. So two options are given. One is that this fa is part of the jawab shart, which and the shart being mahzuf, and that shart is in kana qadiran ala daf'il azab, if he is capable of pushing the azab, or it's fal fasiha, that is in istamarra fi ghalwa'ihi, if he continues his exceeding the proper bounds, then faljatu nadiya. Let's look at the analysis of that. The lam here is lamu amr. يدعو فعل مضارع مجزوم فاعل مستتر تقديره هو. Okay. Nadia, two words here, Nadia and then who. Nadia is maf'ulun bihi mansubun wa huwa mudaf, and who is mudaf ilayhi. Okay. What is the meaning of yad'u? So da'a yad'u. Okay. Da'a yad'u, let him call. Let him call. Okay. Da'a yad'u du'aan, to call, to invite, to pray to God, also means to invoke, to worship. And then Nadia, Nada, Yandu, Nadwan. Okay. To invite, to call together. We are more used to of the Form 3 verb, nada yunadi nidaan. Okay? To call out, to hail, to invoke. The ism fa'il is actually nadin, but has the meaning of supporters, associates, council, also has the meaning of a club. I think we saw that in Medina books in one of the lessons as well. So here it is his associates or his supporters. Okay, he should call upon his supporters. Okay, and then the next ayah. Sorry, Brother Kamal, please go ahead.
Is Nadi is not maful mutlaq for Falyadu?
Definitely, it's not a direct masdar of the verb, the ajadu. Okay, it could have been the we can think of maybe it is the synonym, okay, mutaradif. But the problem is the meaning of Nadia here doesn't contain the masdar meaning. It means it has the meaning of a noun, supporters, his supporters. Okay, so because of that, it cannot be maf'ul mutlaq, and I didn't find it any of the Arab dictionaries identifying it as a maf'ul mutlaq either.
Thank you, Jazakallah. One more question I have seen is I'm just wondering that we have badal of a noun exactly the same noun. Like Nasia, the badal is exactly the same noun. It's sort of interesting.
Correct. It is a badal because of course a nasia is definite and it cannot be naat, but it is coming in as a substitute because it does bring in some more qualifiers to it. Okay, that I mean the sinful and lying forehead. So those parts together make it a badal for the first an-nasia. But you're right, it normally doesn't happen.
Thank you, Jazakallah.
Normally, when you see a replication, it is typically for tawqeed, for emphasis. All right, ayah number 18. Sanad'u zabaniya. Okay. So, sa and then nad'u. So, sa is harf istiqbal. Nad'u, fail, mudare marfu. Fa'il mustatir, taqdiruhu nahnu. Goes to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Az-zabaniya, maf'ulun bihi, mansubun. Okay, in terms of meaning. So, nada, no, what am I talking about? Sanad'u. Did I miss something here? Yeah, it is da'a. Da'a yad'u. Exactly. I missed it. I'm having a memory lapse. Da'a yad'u. Da'a yad'u. What I'm confused is why is there no wow written in there? But anyway, that's confusion I'll have to figure out. Da'a yad'u. Normally there should be a wow after that. Okay. So the ayadu to call. Okay, so here it says, we will call. We will call. This is Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala saying, Zabaniya. So Zabana, Yazbinu, Zabnan. Bab Daraba, to push away, to thrust away, has also interesting meaning of to sell dates while on the tree. Multiple dictionaries gave this meaning. To sell dates while they are still on the tree. But anyway, the noun Zabaniya, plural of, this is a plural actually, and the singular is zibniyatun, and has the meaning of guards of hell. Guards of hell. Okay. So we will call the guards of hell. Meaning, let him call his supporters we will call the guards of hell. Okay. Interestingly, note that the harf istiqbal which is used here is sa. Both sa and saufa both are harf istiqbal, but this one is for near future. Saufa is for further in future. So Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala's warning is that very soon we will call the guards of hell on him. Okay, we move on, inshallah. The last ayah. I know.
There's
Yeah.
Sorry, I think hand through. I think the waw, which is harf mad there, is not there because followed by the haruf shamshi. You see, if there is a zais haruf shamshi, so if you have a waw which is the waw mad, because of the dhamma on that thing, the waw will not be written.
Actually, in conjugations, it's not shown either. I just checked on the table.
Yeah, it will not be because of the
waw. No, in conjugation, it's not shown either. The waw.
In the ayad'u, you are saying the waw is not shown?
Yes. Yadu, tadu, nadu, and the waw is not shown.
But it is not shown in which column? The marfu column or the majzoom column?
On the marfu column.
Okay, I'll check. I thought the
no, actually, no. You're correct. It is shown. It is shown.
It is shown in the marfu column.
It is shown
in the marfu column. It is supposed to be like this. The
yadu. Yeah, there's a waw there. Yeah.
Yad'u. It is only when it is majzoom, then it will be like this.
True.
Yeah. So,
but because haruf shamshi came, I saw that the other words also, because this waw is using as a elongated vowel for the dhamma. But since the haruf shamshi came, so that is not needed there.
Okay. I was not aware of that rule, so that's why I'm a little bit gabrified, but I will, inshallah.
I'm not 100% sure. I thought when I attended the classes, I remember one of the Pakistani scholars, he was trying to tell that thing.
Okay. I didn't pay attention when I was analyzing it, and definitely got the marfu part right. But then I'm like, where is the waw now? I just realized it now as I was explaining to you guys. Okay, I'll look into it, inshallah. All right. I'm over time, but I do want this is the last ayah, so let's just finish it, inshallah, before we go. My apologies for going over. Ayah number 19. Kalla la tuti'hu wasjud waqtarib. So kalla, again same, harfu rad'in wa zajrin. La here is a nahiya, prohibitive la. Tuti', then who. Tuti' is fi'l mudare majzoom. Fa'il mustatir taqdiruhu anta. Who is maf'ulun bihi, damir muttasil fi mahalli nasbin maf'ulun bihi. Wasjud, waw is harfu atf. Usjud, fi'l amr mabni ala sukun, fa'il mustatir taqdiruhu anta. Waw again is harfu atf. By the way, usjud is ma'tufun ala tuti'. And then iqtarib is again fi'l amr, fa'il mustatir taqdiruhu anta, and ma'tufun ala tuti'. The meaning is again no, la, do not, tuti'. The root is ta'a, ta waw ain, yatu'u taw'an, to obey, to be obedient. And then form 4 is ata'a yuti'u ita'atan. Similar meaning, to obey, to follow, to comply, to exceed. Form 10 is istata'a yastati'u istita'atan, to be able to, to be in a position to do, to be capable of. Again, a commonly used verb in the Quran. So do not obey him. Wasjud, okay, sajada yasjudu, to prostrate, to bow down, okay, and bow down. Waqtarib, okay. So root is qaruba yaqrubu, qarban or maqrabatan, to be near, to come near. Okay? The word qareeb comes from this. Iqtaraba yaqtaribu, iqtiraban, form 8, to approach, to draw near. Okay, and draw near. Okay, and of course there's implied meaning here, to Allah or to your Lord, basically, in the context of this ayah. So no, do not follow him, and bow down and draw near to Allah. Okay? May Allah make us among those